Chess.com is with Pratik Mohan, the head of volunteers, the guy who's making this a very smooth event. Welcome, Pratik.
Thank you, Rakesh. It's great to be with chess.com.
Can you share a little bit more about how did you do this? How did you manage everything and the 400 volunteers that we have here at the Olympiad?
Sure. So I'll start with the basic story. I mean, how we got started, because this volunteers program is an extremely unique program that we have created especially for the Chess Olympiad, Chennai. In all the other previous Olympiads and all other multi-sport events like the Commonwealth Games, Asian Games, Olympics, or even the FIFA World Cup, you don't have such a unique volunteers program. So we have got 400 volunteers from all across the country. We are paying for their travel fare from their city to Chennai. We are accommodating them, providing the food, and also giving them a stipend. So this is an extremely unique program because what happens in such big events, no, there are a lot of colleges nearby. Yeah. They had actually offered us students so that they can come and be part of this event. So we did not have, if we had taken that offer, we did not have to spend on the stipend, the travel fare, the fooding, boarding, lodging, everything. But we wanted this because such an event might not happen for many decades in India. So all the chess players, chess enthusiasts across the country who are part of the ecosystem right now might never get a chance to be part of such a big event. And being a spectator and being part in being a volunteer and being involved for like 21 days in the event is completely different. I mean, that experience is completely different. So both me and Bharat sir, we had come up with this plan that we wanted to give this opportunity to all everyone across the country, and we devised this plan, and we have spent a lot of time, effort and money to ensure that the best 400 volunteers who had applied come here and work with us for this event.
So, how many people applied?
Yeah, so the application process was very extensive. I mean, you needed actually more than an hour, and you had to be like extremely passionate about chess to even fill the application form itself. We received couple of thousands of applications. Wow. And out of that, we shortlisted people based on their profiles and the application that they filled. And I have personally interviewed about 1,000 people over Zoom in 1.5 months.
Wow, that's incredible. And you mentioned stipend and all the facilities to the volunteers. So can you give me an estimate of how much money the organizers spent on the volunteers?
I mean, the figure is in crores. The entire thing, I mean, the entire budget for the volunteers is in a couple of crores, because we are giving them a stipend of 15,000 rupees. Plus, we are reimbursing their third AC fare from their city to Chennai and back. Plus, we are providing them accommodation and food in 2-3-star hotels nearby. So 400 volunteers are actually accommodated in 6 hotels near to the venue. And plus their transportation, we are also reimbursing some of the costs that they spend. So all total, we are spending in couple of crores for the volunteers. But volunteers are like the soul of the Olympiad. So this is a very necessary kind of expense. You can see both in the venue, in transportation, at the airport, at the arrivals, and now at the departures also, in accommodations, in feeder congress. Volunteers are in and there in each and every part of the Olympiad.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. So let's go to a fun segment. So can you please share something that people at home do not know, like some fun stories of the volunteers with the star players?
Sure. So see, we have taken chess players from across the country. So when you take chess players, they definitely, I mean, one of the reason they come to the Olympiad is to actually get to see the top players live in action, really see them blood, probably if they're lucky, get a selfie or two, get an autograph. So I'm sure that most of the volunteers here actually wanted to be very close to Magnus, probably be a PA. I mean, that is what the dream job of most volunteers were. And actually one volunteer actually got that. Okay. This guy was in the protocol team, which is escorting VVIPs across the tournament. So seeing the dedication of this person, this guy is Abhishek, seeing the dedication of this person, the captain of Norway team decided that you be with Carlsen throughout. So he has kind of become a personal escort. He is always escorting him. And despite all this, in the entire 15 days, he has never taken a selfie with Magnus.
That's amazing. And can you tell us something that the volunteers are doing for the Indian team especially?
Yeah, so all the other teams are actually coming and going in bus, except for Carlsen. He has got his private vehicle. But we have provided Innovas to the entire Indian team. That is all the men and women ABC teams. And we are also provided one volunteer each to the men and women team, because there are a lot of guests who are actually specially coming to meet the Indian team, because it's happening in India. Yeah. The Indian teams are one of the favorites to win the medal today. So we have provided one volunteer each for the male team and one volunteer each for the female team, which we have not done for any other team. We just have provided like point of contacts for the other teams, different points of contact, but we did not provide a particular volunteer for the Indian, any other team apart from Indian teams.
And they deserve that. But also, we saw a video of the volunteers celebrating Fabiano Caruana's birthday. So can you share more on that?
Sure. So, I mean, Fabi's birthday was actually happening during the Olympiad. So, this was a plan envisioned by volunteers themselves. I mean, even I was told a bit later. So, these guys actually brought the cake and celebrated his birthday in the venue itself. So, that was very special to have like one of the top players' birthday being celebrated during the Olympiad by the volunteers team. So, this was again done by the volunteers themselves. I mean, they took the initiative and they did a splendid job. And that video is there on the channel.
And lastly, can you mention the biggest challenge that you as the volunteers had faced, and the volunteers, like something maybe you didn't imagine before the event started?
So see, one of the things is that the entire team is extremely young. The average age is 22 years. Okay, so what happens is when you have such a young, diverse crowd, I mean, we have people from all different kinds of backgrounds. We are out of the 400 volunteers, 200 are FIDE rated, and many more are like senior arbiters, organizers, full-time coaches on top of that. But you have a lot of very young people. A lot of them people who are not studying in hostels, for example, have gotten out of their house for such a prolonged time for the first time in their lives. So it's challenge to deal with all these people. They have their different aspirations. They are coming out of the time. They're contributing. I mean, the jobs has been extremely stressful for a lot of people because in the initial days, people were working like 10, 12, 14, even 16-hour shifts. Okay, because we had to ensure everything, and that is one of the reasons we took chess players, that we knew that they are not here to just work 8-hour shifts or 10-hour shifts. They are here to get the work done, whatever time it may take, and the entire team has actually proven that. But in that, you definitely face a lot of challenges. I mean, there have been a lot of unexpected challenges that we have faced throughout the thing. See, what happens when you cram 4 years of event organizing into 3 months? You will definitely face a lot of challenges. There are a lot of things we did not plan for that happened. There's certainly a lot of requirements for volunteers we did not budget for.
Yeah.
So, I mean, suddenly you have to somehow ensure that we are able to provide sometimes even up to 50 volunteers for a particular task for a particular day. And all our volunteers are anyway occupied in each and every field in this Olympiad. So, I mean, those challenges are rising, like not just daily, but even on an hourly basis. But we have been facing them one by one and have ensured that the event goes successfully and smoothly. Yeah.
And lastly, you have a very big team. I think one of the biggest teams that you are in charge of. So one message that you would like to give to the volunteers here.
I mean, what I expected from volunteers, they've exceeded all my expectations. They've done an incredible job. I mean, whatever I was expecting them to work 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, I mean, people have gone way beyond what we wanted. And I hope that they take this experience and this experience remains with them throughout their life. I mean, I want them to actually tell their grandkids that they were part of this, one of the largest chess events, one of the best organized chess events, and they were part of this event and they're proud to be for this event.
Thank you so much, Prateek. It was a pleasure interviewing you, and of course, thank you so much for all the work you have done at the Olympiad.
Thank you so much, Rakesh. It's a pleasure talking to you too.
Thank you, guys. We had Prateek Mohan here, head of volunteers team, and explaining all the challenges and some fun stories at the Chess Olympiad.